Thank you, Grace of Heaven, and grandmasters and predecessors, transmitters, and all the Buddhas and saints for this opportunity to present this introduction of Ākāśagarbha Bodhisattva. In this presentation, there are lots of Sanskrit words, so just in case I did not pronounce any of it correctly, I'm asking you, all the Buddhas and saints, for forgiveness, and all of you. So, and during the presentation, if you have a question, you'll be able to ask. So, before I begin, I'd like to just remind everyone that we are trying to not have any cups on the tables during the morning sessions, and except the transmitter and the speakers. So afterwards, during the break, and you should have a tea or something, the break's very short. So instead of having a full cup, try to make a half a cup so you could finish it instead of leaving it on here. So because there are lots of paperwork and so forth, so if you leave it there and it's spilled, it's going to mess all the paper up, and we have to sort of protect the temple's property. Okay, so Ākāśagarbha Bodhisattva, and he's not a well-known Buddha because he's one of the ancient ones. But in appearance, Ākāśagarbha wears a 5 Buddha crown, right? He sits on a turquoise lotus. His right arm is bent inward, and he holds a sword that emits bright light. His left fist is positioned at his waist and holds a lotus topped by pearl-like jewels. Ākāśagarbha resides in the mandala of both the Garbhatu, or womb world, and Vajrahatu, the diamond world. In the Vajrahatu, he is the Vajra Jewel Bodhisattva and is one of the 16 deities of the auspicious Aeon position in the outer court of the southern direction. Within the Garbhatu, he holds the primary position in the Ākāśagarbha court. Okay. That's good. Yeah. As a compassionate being, a Bodhisattva is destined to attain Buddhahood and become a future Buddha, through the cultivation of his mind. Ākāśagarbha is a Bodhisattva that kept his vow so purely and diligently that his merit and wisdom are beyond measure. He is like a wealthy man who helps all suffering beings. His ability to benefit all beings is immeasurable. See? The seed symbol of Ākāśagarbha is Tra. I'll just write that word down to make sure that just in case. He's the Hindu. He's not here today. No, we need him. He's not here. Okay. Yeah. So I'll read that again. The seed symbol of Ākāśagarbha is star, which is also associated with Ratnasambhava. Is the same mandalas. Ākāśagarbha is very important in the life story of Kutai. You'd notice also that there are lots of Japanese words because he was very famous in Japan, and not so much as in China, but more Japan and India. As a teenager, he met a Buddhist priest who taught him a mantra of Ākāśagarbha known in Japanese as Gumanji Ho, also known as the Morning Star Mantra. It was repeated. It was in repeating this mantra millions of times that he had some decisive spiritual experiences, including many powerful visions of Ākāśagarbha. Ākāśagarbha said, "What lies behind us is what lies before, and what lies before us are tiny matters than what lies within us. It is especially important to recite the mantra before an eclipse." So what they're saying here that the people in those early times, when there were disasters, that they recited the mantra and to overcome it. Another mantra of Ākāśagarbha is popularly used in Shingon Buddhist practitioners in Tangmi, and by artists. It is believed to give rise to wisdom and creativity and dispel ignorance. Still in India, in lots of the movies that they make, they portray a lot of Ākāśagarbha's images, and a lot of the songs are still giving praise to Ākāśagarbha.
Is that the name?
Shikong Sang Pusa.
You recognize that one? Namo
Qigong Zong Pusa. Okay. So
I don't know.
no.
I don't know.
You know?
Qigong.
So afterwards, one should pay special attention to days when there is either a solar lunar eclipse. On days when an eclipse occurs, one should make offerings of incense, drinks, and food to Ākāśagarbha Bodhisattva, and then place a cup of water as an offering on the altar. Whilst seated in meditation before Ākāśagarbha image, one should then, from Ākāśagarbha mudra, meaning the way that you hold your hands, you should form that during the meditation. The fingers of both hands are interlace outward. Place both index fingers upright and the tips touching each other and to form an arc. The thumbs are then placed side by side against each other. So it's, if you notice, how you say Guan Yin again? Modern, what's Guan Yin name again? Guan Yin.
Guan Yin Bodhisattva.
Okay, so like if you notice, like Guan Yin Bodhisattva has her hands like this, right? So that's what we call a mudra. So each one of the Buddhas has their own way of holding their hands. Mudra.
Kind of like
Right, that's how you spell
yeah.
M-U-D-R.
M-U-D-R-A. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
One of the 8 great Bodhisattva, in Japanese referred to as Kokushi, represent the immense vastness of Buddha's wisdom. It was in both Japanese and Chinese that this Buddha's blessings are so powerful that merely reciting his name and mantra would bestow great wisdom, intelligence, and creative powers. Because of this, he is sometimes regarded as the patron deity of art. His practice is not commonly practiced now except in Japan Shigong lineage. However, historically he was very widely revered as and worshipped, for he is able to remove obstacles, help people, and recognize and overcome their weaknesses, and encourage the practice of the 6 parameters and perfections. Generosity, ethics, patience, perseverance, concentration, and wisdom. Ākāśagarbha disciples and followers engage in constant meditation. He is also known to help lots of people with lost memory and those with limited memory and intelligence. There is a story where there was a man who was, he was actually like a homeless person, but he passed by one day and heard Ākāśagarbha lecturing to his disciples, and he stayed, and because of Ākāśagarbha's virtues, he spoke to him afterwards, and that man, he was never taught how to read, or he did not never learn how to read and write and so forth, and just by learning the mantra as he was taught by Ākāśagarbha, afterwards he actually gained a lot of knowledge, and he just changed his appearance, everything automatically after learning the mantra. Ākāśagarbha disciples and followers engage in constant meditation. Right. He's also known to help lots of people with lost memory and those limited memory and intelligence. It is believed if you solicit the protector related to your birth during time of obstacles, you can clear your problems faster. If pujas, prayers, and mantras are done for them, then it will benefit your obstacle period. So a puja is like a prayer meeting that you sit with your friends and families and make offerings and so forth. So that's what's called a puja. Huh? A cushion?
It's like a meeting.
A meeting. A meeting. So you have friends and family, you sit together and you pray and recite mantras and whatnot. So yeah. It is believed that people born on each sign recite the blessings and protection of the associated protector. As to why there are 8 protectors and not 12, there is no definitive answer. Sources often conjecture that it must be aligned to Chinese Taoism and Feng Shui, which is based upon 8 specially connected cosmic symbols used in divinations, etc. So as you see there, the 12 zodiac signs. So because you see, Ākāśagarbha was one of the 8 Buddhas who is associated with each cosmic signs. So the Chinese zodiac is part of an elaborate and laborious system based on Chinese astrology, cosmology, and divination. It was collaborated to track the waxing and waning phase of the moon and using as a method of counting years, months, days, and hours in the Chinese imperial court and civil calendar, and utilized to foster one's future and determine one's character. So, I guess everyone here knows what their signs are, right? Yeah, this year. Right.
What is this year?
This year is a monkey. Yeah, right. So this is the list of the 8 Buddhist protector, and Ākāśagarbha, you see, he's there as number 2. All right. Does anyone recognize any of the other 8 Buddhas there? Manchu, right. Yeah.
I think, well, the Samanthabhadra, I think.
Yeah, Samanthabhadra, okay.
I forget which one.
Okay. Okay. Oops.
Samanthabhadra. Oh, that's good. Maybe the other one is Vairocana.
Go to the previous picture. Everybody can see the picture.
Say again?
Go back to the previous one.
Oh,
Everybody can see
this.
next one.
No, well, that is. I'll come back to after this one. So it's just an ancient picture that is. See this stone carving. So they're ancient. So then lots of they're not clean or anything. So they it's going over them. Right, yeah. So the main features of the 8 great Mahayana Bodhisattva in literature and art, according to the Mahayana belief, as there are innumerable Buddhas, there are also innumerable Bodhisattvas, of which the following 8 are the chief ones. The Tamaha Hat Bodhisattva, or the 8 chief Bodhisattvas, occupy a very important place in Buddhist art and iconology. This group consists of, I'll go back, so this group consists of 1 Manjushri, 2 Rajpani, Vajrapani, Ākāśagarbha, right? Ākāśagarbha, Savanivaransi Kumar bin, okay? So Ākāśagarbha, Maitreya, and Samanthabhadra. Okay? So most of these Buddhas occur simply as singly and also in a group on or mandalas. I wish we had a thing that we could just bring it, zoom in on it. Yeah. You could zoom in on it. Okay, all right. Okay. So the Bodhisattvas play a unique role in Mahayana faith and art. The main features of the Bodhisattvas are their boundless compassion for all the sentient beings and their readiness to undergo any suffering for the benefit of others. They do not attain nirvana until all of the sentient beings nirvana until all the sentient beings are freed from the cycle of bondage of birth and death. It may be interesting to note that the Mahayana Buddhism Buddha is not the only agent engaged in the work of saving the world. In the great task, he is associated with his followers, Putras, Sutras, Ashuras, etc. So, Putras, what's that? Chanchu? So what is Putra? P-U-T-R-A-S.
P-U-T-R-A.
Putra.
Yeah.
Always Mr. Kai.
Okay, and I guess everyone know what is an assurance, right? Assurance, right? And Sutas, S-U-T-A-S. Sutas, S-U-T-A-S. Sutas. Okay. All right. So who are called Bodhisattvas and Mahayana Sutras? These Bodhisattvas are closer to the common man as their constant guide than Buddha himself. The present study is based on relevant literary, art, and archaeological sources. So this is not very clear, but this is just giving you an outline of if whatever your signs are, to tell you how that it's like a chart to explain your signs and how it falls depend on the birth date. So this grouping of 8 Buddhist deities is associated with the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac calendar. Each deity, yeah, I know it's a little dark. Each deity is associated with a specific zodiac animal and serve as the protector, guardian, patron. For all people born in that animal year, for example, people born in the year of the tiger are protected by the Kokutsu Bosatu. Among the 8 guard the 4 cardinal directions, while the other 4 guards the 4 semi-directions. The latter 4 are each associated with 2 animals, thus covering the 12 animals. This is explained because remember we said that there are 8 protectors and there are 12 signs. So 2 Buddhas are representing more than 1 sign. So that's why actually 4. So that's why you have more than only 8 Buddhas and 12 signs. The list goes on, with those Buddhist protectors also linked to the 5 elements, 5 colors, and 5 entrances. The Chinese zodiac is it's tremendously confusing and concluded by different interpretation, making it hard to track down the origin of the many traditions and legends. So why not assign 12 patron Buddhist deities instead of 8? The most plausible reason involves Chinese cosmology. Taoist yin and yang influences the divination.
Myodo.
Yeah.
Japanese.
The Japanese, yeah. The Chinese cosmology, then, there are 8 interrelated trigrams called the Bagu. Bagua. Bagua. Okay. Bagua. Each consists of 3 lines. Each is associated with either yin or yang, and each is linked to one of the 8 directions, 4 cardinal directions and 4 semi-directions. The 8 trigrams are used in divination. Huh? Yeah.
Yes, for being able to like predict. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
How do you say?
Yeah.
Divination.
It's like, see, like for instance, sometimes we have questions about certain scriptures and so forth, right? And
Fortune tellers use
we don't know, right? You're a fortune teller, yeah.
prediction.
Yeah.
A person, yeah.
They can use that one, like even lecture they will talk about in Buddha class, Buddha nature class, they see people's face, they see people's
Palms, right, yeah.
They can see what kind of fortune life the person will have.
Ahead, yeah.
But when he did that, in the old days, he used to, literally used to do that all the time. He spent, because he was channeling in the temple before he received the stuff. But he did all those, so he spent a lot of time studying all stuff, so he can predict a lot of stuff happening. But once he received our grand predecessors said, get rid of all those stuff. Because when we received our, try to avoid those kind of stuff, concentrate on cultivate our deep inside Buddha nature. In our Buddha nature, that's the key. So
The reason is because when we cultivate, okay, we can change our destiny.
Yeah.
So the fortune teller, whatever they predict, is no longer accurate. Okay?
Could change. So once we cultivate, propagate it out, our faith will change based on what we are doing now. So that's a big thing. So don't emphasize too much on those kind of stuff.
Dictionary.
Yeah. Thank you, yes.
Even when we cultivate in our life, you could see our line going to change.
Yeah.
Anybody feel that?
You mean the lines in your hands?
I don't see it.
Yeah, I think I have the line. Yeah.
Yeah, even the face.
Okay. You can't. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So how do you say this?
Caveat.
Caveat. Yeah. Caveat. Okay. So. Okay. Okay. So there's approximately a 1 month disparity between the lunar and the solar calendar. So one zodiac signs may differ from that shown above for people born in January or February. For example, say you were born on the 19th of January 1987, your sign is not the hare as shown on the chart, but rather a tiger. Why? Because the lunar year, not solar year, began on the 9th of February 1986 and ended on January 29th, 1987. So people born on January 30th, 1987 are thereafter are hare folks, not tiger. But people born between January 1st and January 29th, 1987 are tigers. To determine your exact animal sign and Buddhist patron based on Chinese lunar calendar. Lunar or old versus solar or new calendar. The lunar calendar, zodiac calendar, is based on the waxing and waning of the moon. there are 29 to 30 days per lunar month, with approximately a 1 month disparity between the lunar and the solar calendar. In Japan, the lunar calendar was abandoned in 1872 in favor of the solar, but even today, many temples and shrines continues to use lunar dates for important festivals and events. In the lunar calendar, the new moon, first of the month, the half moon, and the first quarter, 7th and 8th. The full moon on the 15th, and the half moon of the last quarter, the 22nd and 23rd, are considered sacred days and known as Hari No Hai. So these are different pictures of Ākāśagarbha Bodhisattva. So it seems as every place, especially in Japan and India, there are lots of different statues of Ākāśagarbha, because those are the two countries where he was where he's most worshipped or reverent. So the Asian zodiac is not based on the constellation, as is the Western Greek Roman zodiac. The Asian calendar is based on the 12-year phase of the moon, known as the 12-month lunar year, each month lasting between 28 to 31 days. The Western Greek Roman calendar is based on the annual path of the sun through 12 stars constellation known as the solar year. Each Asian calendar is also based on the 28th constellation or 28 moon lodges, which added greater perceptions. Yes.
I got a bit of a question. So it looks like falls on a leap year, as in like this situation has a leap year, then it's a little bit different, or still the same thing?
No, that's why you're saying that. See, 28 each year, 28 or 31. So it's different. That gives room for when we have a leap year. Yes.
Question. What lead to become a Buddha?
What Ākāśagarbha? Because he, remember earlier on I said that he was so virtuous and compassionate, that he did all these great things, and he devoted his life towards becoming a Buddha. He tried so hard, and he just like what's his name? Buddha. So well.
Which Buddha?
That was the prince, and then
Sakyamuni
just like Sakyamuni Buddha, he have this great compassion for other people, and later on I will explain his mentor, who right. I'll explain a little bit later on.
I think there's a couple stories about him. One thing, they talk about kindness on him, which is very Sakyamuni Buddha. We know it's pretty on the top, right? And they say it's pretty close to Sakyamuni Buddha's kindness on his virtues. That's one area he's cultivated so well to be there.
Yeah.
The other thing is, especially when women have hard time to give a birth, and he always can save them.
Yes,
So he has a lot of birds marry there, save a lot of people. The other thing, people got sick, so he had a way to help people save people's life because people got sick. So he has a lot of good story on his side.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm really going too fast, boy.
No.
Yeah. 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 So the binary, so the binary yin and yang system is nearly as old as China itself. It is the central pillar of all Chinese system and divination, and a key element in Chinese philosophy. In the Chinese Book of Change, I Ching, the yang principle is represented by a straight line, and the yin principle is a broken line, or one line with the space, so the line is broken. The two are combined into abstract line arrangement, hexagram and trigrams, with various meaning. Certain combinations are auspicious, other inauspicious. Different methods are used to cast a reading. These trigrams over time were developed into a complex system composed of 64 hexagrams. The trigrams number 8 in the Chinese cosmology are called the Bagu. The Bagu. Bagua. Thank you. The Bagua. Okay. Each consists of 3 lines, and each is associated with the 8 yin and yang principles, and related in various ways to the 8 elements. The 8 diagrams symbolize the unseasonally changing balance of forces and are used in divination. They appear in 2 different versions: the early heaven arrangement used for burial sites, and the latter heaven arranged for residences. So, any questions? Somebody said yeah. Any questions? Okay, all right. So let's go back to Ākāśagarbha, so from the cosmological section. So,
Johnny,
yes.
can I say something?
Yes, please.
So the yin and the yang, right?
Yes.
The yang is the straight line.
Yeah.
And the yin is
Broken line,
right?
yes.
So when we cultivate, we want to become yang.
Yang, yes.
So that's why what is yin is our emotion. So the heaven in the lecture, the Sutra lecture, it says when we have the emotions, we cannot go to heaven. So
We cannot become a Buddha.
we
We cannot go heaven. No.
Okay.
We cannot become a Buddha.
So the basic idea is that when we cultivate Tao, we want to have the yang more and more. Okay? So it's the yin, it means our emotion. So when we're too happy, too sad, that's nothing. So nobody, no Buddha is very happy Buddha.
Oh.
All the those yin we have to get rid of. Whatever our true nature we don't have, then we should not carry. All lifetime we should carry.
All the saints Buddha are 100% yang, right?
Yeah.
Positive. And then all the ghosts are 100% yin, means negative. And human being is half. Okay? But when we cultivate, we want to bring more yang, mean more positive energy. We don't want negative stuff. So that's why, especially Dhamma class, Holy Teacher just talk about last month. Every day, we need to think, do all positive stuff, because we affect all the energy around us. Okay? When we think positive energy, we're going to get healthy. When we think about negative energy, we're going to get sick easily. So that's why it's very important. Every day, what we think, what we do, stay positive. Yeah. Go ahead.
Is being grateful emotional?
No,
Gratitude.
you should be doing that more.
Gratitude is it's like an
When
attitude.
you talk about
It's not
emotional, it's like a bad habit. Right? Like bad habit, get angry, upset, with attachment, greedy, with all the stubborn. right? All those stuff, street poisons, right? That's those kind of stuff. That's why teacher said, whatever we have, we don't have pre-heaven, we should get rid of. Okay, we should get rid of. What we don't have previously.
Three poisons.
Street poison,
Street poisons.
temper,
Anger,
greed,
And
greed, right? What's the second?
Anger.
anger.
What's the third?
Ignorance.
Okay.
Delusion.
And then also a lot of attachments. And we have a desire attachment. Those we didn't have when we were in heaven originally, right? We should get rid of. Okay, so that's important to get rid of. Teacher remind us again, just last month, we got to get rid of it. Because teacher said, all of us, each one of us, are Buddhas when we were in heaven. When we came down, we forgot who we are previously. So we need to go back.
Yes, Claudia had a question.
There was a mention of, from what I heard, too much. Like, what if we're like so grateful? Like the gratitude is so.
No, that you
No,
can never
no,
have
it's
too
it,
much.
no.
Okay.
You just have a big heart, that's all.
Yeah. It's just like kindness. Can you have too much kindness? No. Same thing.
It means I like this so much. It's overdue, overlap.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like this so much. It's overlap. So it's kind of, we don't want to be too extreme. We want to be in the middle path. You know what I mean? That's the
doctrine of belief says you don't want to be overjoyed, you don't want to be over sad. Those sometimes in my experience, too much kindness means you get stepped on
Yeah, I agree. She said too much kindness, you get stepped on sometimes.
Oh, yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
If you get stepped on, they are also helping you to offset your karmas.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
I know.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
in other words, it's very important we stay true nature. So our true nature will be to heavy, too sad, right? That's the point. So, 陈阳祖师 immortally, he's a pure young immortal. He has a soul and respect, right? So that's what does that mean? That means that it's wisdom. So whenever something comes and not belongs to the teenager, okay?
Let's go. Get rid of all those.
That's just a hint. Says that use his wisdom. Whatever does not belong to his teenager.
So we should carry a sword.
So when we're extremely wise,
Invisible, yeah.
So we have to get rid of those. That's very, very important.
Yes, go ahead.
And is it okay to connect with the Buddha nature in everyone and to love everyone and
Yeah. But that's the idea.
That's like Buddha.
Yeah.
Buddha's love is not, they're not going to change. Okay? No matter how bad we are, how good we are, how ugly we are, how poor we are, they always love us. Because they treat us as Buddha. They thought each one of us are Buddhas. So teacher also mentioned these times. Okay. The Buddhas, how does Buddha treat us? So teacher said, we always respect Buddhas, right? We love Buddha. When teacher came every time, right? We really love Buddha, we respect them. Teacher said, do we respect and love others like the way we love Buddhas? Respect Buddhas. Do we love others the way we love Buddhas and respect Buddhas? We need to do that. So it's a good statement. Teacher
Yeah. Or not only just the Buddhas, but in terms of our parents, do we show our parents that type of respect and love as we give? That if we could do that, and we say, the old saying that charity begins at home. So if we could show that love and respect to our parents, then it's very easy for us to do it to everybody else.
Teacher always asks us, do our parents love us more or do we love them more?
They love us more.
Do they love us more or we love them more?
Yeah, I think
Which one? Always they love us more.
They
right?
always love us more, yeah. Okay, all right. So as I said, let's go back to now Ākāśagarbha Bodhisattva. So,
You keep pressing that.
Yes, she has one more question.
yes, go ahead.
When you were saying that, I was thinking of how I love my children.
Yeah.
My daughter, and I was thinking of my daughter. So, I mean, all children. I
Do you
feel
think
like
you love them
everyone's
more
my
than
child.
they
But,
love you?
but you were saying our parents, and my parents aren't here, but I could feel the love. But then what came from the heart was thinking of the love of the children. So I guess as a parent,
Yes. Unconditional
it's
love.
you have it both ways. 'Cause
Yeah.
you love your parents more, but then you love your children more because you are that parent too. Because you're honoring your parents.
Yeah.
The question is that does the parents? No, the question is that does the parents love the children more? Then the children love the parents more. Which one love each other more? The parents love children more or children love parents more?
It had to be, yeah, because what happened when you said that is I thought of the love I have for my daughter.
Yeah.
So it is the parent loves the child more. Because I didn't
yeah.
think of my parents. I thought of my daughter.
Yeah.
That's what we always
That's where my
say.
heart went to.
Yeah.
Right to my daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sad, but that's
Yeah.
the reality.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah. So earlier on, I told you a story about this beggar who actually was taught by Akasagarbha and who changed his appearance and everything. So this part is going to explain a little bit about that. So the wisdom seed Dharma practiced 7 times. His face no longer had an unintelligent look. His eyes, which had once been dull, were now bright and shining. His previous foolish look had completely vanished, and his countenance was now full of wisdom. Most strangely, his manner of speaking, which had been rumbled and incoherent, was now clear and lucid. Especially his previous poor memory had become very strong. It was as if he had undergone a miraculous rebirth. So, here's a person who was like a foolish person, didn't know anything at all, but because of his sincerity, his faith, and so on, wanted to be different, and he was taught by Ākāśagarbha, and he was able to have this great transformation. Yeah. So again, there are some of Ākāśagarbha images. These are different images of Ākāśagarbha Bodhisattva. These are Ākāśagarbha, who is regarded as the essence of either belongs or to the group of 8 great Bodhisattva. He belongs to Ratnasa family. He is also called the Ākāśagarbha, Asaka, and Ka. Does he say that? Ka. So maybe K-J-K.
Ka.
Yeah.
Maybe the ha.
Yeah.
Maybe the K is
Silent. Okay. Right. Means the sky or boundless space. The reason why the Bodhisattva is called Ākāśagarbha is explained thus in the Ta Fang Ten Ta Sheng.
Are you singing a song?
Ta Fang Ten Ta Shi Sheng. Can our
Well, but I know, is that
you know
is that
this?
in Japanese or what? I mean, that's
It
probably
looked
don't
like
know what-
Chinese.
Oh, maybe.
Mr.
Can
Kindness
can
is
can
Chinese.
can can
Mr.
can
Kindness
can
is
our dictionary yeah, okay. Suppose there is a millionaire who has limitless riches and immeasurable store of large donations to people, especially to the poor and bereaved. Suppose he opens his store to make offerings to those people as much as they want, and that he is hereby immeasurable satisfied, immensely satisfied. Like that rich man does Ākāśagarbha Bodhisattva practice his meritorious act. Lecture Judy, I think that answer your question, right? That how he became a Bodhisattva. Right.
She asked 2
Yes,
years ago.
right. You had asked how he became a Buddha, but they just sort of give an explanation that like if he was a rich man and he opened up his store and let everybody come in, and without any limitations, you just take as much as you want. Right? So that's how virtuous he was. Right. So according to Su Yao Ikwe, the man who wants to get happiness and wisdom should devote himself to this Bodhisattva. The reason is that sun, moon, and the stars are the incarnation of Akasagarbha. Again, the Akasagarbha Bodhisattva Sutra okay. All right.
Shikong Pusajing. Shikong Pusajing.
Shika, yeah. Okay. You want to write it, Jim?
I don't know. How you spell that?
No, it doesn't matter. That's the Chinese.
That's it.
Oh,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it was, we are just explaining a little sutra, but we're not going to get into it. Yes, Claudia?
Was it said that he was a rich man?
No.
That was
It's just an explanation to say how he became a Bodhisattva. So
essentially very generous in well, I don't know, I guess in whatever his virtue,
Yeah.
In teaching or whatever, helping
Or
others.
Helping others,
kindness, you can
yeah,
be very
kindness.
virtuous in giving out.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean monetary
No.
richness.
Right, but to say that having you say monetary as a store, okay, so someone being rich and having a lot and giving everything, but how about someone who doesn't have anything and gives everything? Like doesn't have, that's
Even better.
that's better, but
That's even
yeah.
better.
But it's just yeah.
If they have the same.
Yeah, no, I understand, but the
Yeah,
analogy.
that is important. Is what
It's the what's in their mind,
The mind,
when
yeah.
they are giving. Okay. If they are thinking, oh, if I give, I can gain this in return, then that's not a giving.
Right, and
It's a
giving
fortune.
Yeah.
I was just saying the analogy
No,
of
well,
having a lot and giving.
Well, no, the analogy is he had limitless giving.
Yeah.
Limitless. So that's why, as rich, he has all that money, he can constantly give without
thought,
exhaustion.
Yeah.
Just keep,
Yeah.
inexhaustible. Just keep
Yeah.
giving. That's it.
Yeah.
That he had.
No. It's right. So let's say, I don't know if you are questioning because of the use riches, but it's like an explanation to say, well, I have all this, so why keep it? I could give it away and don't have any thoughts about it. It's nothing. Come and take, and as many or as much as you want, and it's nothing. I'm happy to just give. So that's the explanation they use, because he was like that. Okay?
Just a story.
Okay. All right. So his devotee takes bath in scented water, put on clean clothes, burn incense of aloe, and turn his face towards the east late at night. he brings before his mind the reddish aruna and recite to him, "Thou great meaningful one, thus appear, merciful one, thus appear and illuminate his world. Have mercy on me out of compassion and protect me." It goes on to say that the dawn Aruna appears in the east and Bodhisattva Ākāśagarbha appears. Aruna is a Sanskrit word meaning the dawn. It can therefore be said that the origin of Bodhisattva lies in the world of celestial bodies. So, and in conclusion, Ākāśagarbha, or it's a Sanskrit, Ākāśagarbha, Sanskrit, in Chinese, I don't have to read all of that. Primary event in the east.
Qigong, twin like brothers. They're complementary.
Yeah.
Is it the sun and the moon and the star incarnations?
Is a Bodhisattva primarily reverent in East Asian Buddhism and usually depicted as a Buddhist monk. His name may be translated as Earth Treasury, Earth Stone, Earth Matrix, or Earth Womb. Ākāśagarbha is known for his vow to take responsibility for the institution of all beings in the sixth world, between the earth, between the death of Gautama Buddha and the rise of Maitreya, as well as his vow not to achieve Buddhahood until all hells are emptied. He is therefore often regarded as a Bodhisattva of hell, being as well as the guardian of children and patron deity of deceased children and aborted fetuses in Japanese culture, where he is known as Jizo. Okay, Japanese name. Usually depicted as a monk with halo around his shaved head and carries a staff to force open the gates of hell, a wish-fulfilling jewel to light up the darkness. So, and that is the conclusion of this lesson. Are there any more questions before we conclude? Nothing, no question. Any comments? Yes. If I have it there. It's the link is up there. I put it there. Right. So if you could copy that link right on the conclusion.